Let's talk about memorizing the notes on the fingerboard. Oftentimes, guitarists rely a lot on shapes, and that's great, but you tie that in with knowing where the notes are. Those two elements can be very strong together and really improve your playing, as well as your general awareness. So we'll talk about foundational concepts, fretboard navigation, memorization exercises, and ways to apply these. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Help out the channel by commenting, liking, subscribing, and check out the merch store and check out the description. Well, let's get started. First of all, we want to know the notes of the C major scale, basically the white keys on the piano. So no sharps and no flats. You can work on this on and off of the guitar. Spell out the letter names A through G. I'll play these on the guitar, so you could also do the same. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So once we get to G, we wrap around back to A. So try it out from different starting points. Let's say C, so this would give you C major. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. The sharps and flats fit in between many of these notes. So let's say C to D, there's going to be a note in between. D to E, there's a note in between there. F to G, G to A to B. And those notes in between will be named sharp or flat based on the context of the key we're playing in or the chord, and sometimes the direction of a chromatic line. We want to be aware that there's a half step between the B and the C, as well as the E and the F. We also want to be aware that although this is rare, sometimes F will be flat, and sometimes E will be sharp. Same thing for C. C could be flat, and B could be sharp. Check out the key signatures in the circle of fifths. So a half step on guitar is 1 fret on 1 string, and a whole step is 2 frets on 1 string. Okay. You can start with knowing the names of the open strings and memorize those. So E, A, D, G, B, E. Then work at the notes in the key of C, all on single strings. So for example, E, so see if you can, at minimum, go from open to fret 12. And do this on each one of the strings. Next up, be aware of octave shapes. So play in octaves up the neck. So we have 2 C's here. Play another octave, position 3. So C's. C's here as well. Now in this position we have 2 octaves. And then here we also have 2 octaves. So make sure you can play those all the way from fret 1 through 13. Once you can connect those, try to dig a little deeper and think about how the note lines up with the fingerboard markers. So for example, these tones land on fingerboard markers, frets 3 and 5. And here we have one that does and one that doesn't. Here we're also on some notes that aren't on markers, as well as this one. So try to think about how close or far away you are from the fingerboard markers. Try to associate all of this with some harmony. So going C up the neck and then visualize the octave shape that we just talked about and play some chord forms and keep it to real basic triads. Okay, let's talk about exercises that will help you memorize. I would say by far the really easiest and fastest way is to read music and play it on the guitar throughout the 5 fingerings, or just relative to the octave shapes in the key of C. When reading music, play short excerpts, maybe just 4 measures. If your intention is to sight read and learn notes on the guitar, don't read that more than 2 or 3 times. We played the major scale in the open position. I want to move those around the neck through those octave shapes that we just found and name the notes out loud as you go. So if you're thinking about this octave shape, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Just say them all out loud. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So move up the neck like that. And then work at notes on a single string like we did earlier. And you can start with just the open string. So B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And say them out loud as you go. If there's any hesitation, just slow down and prioritize naming the note out loud rather than the playing on the guitar. If you happen to have a friend or a family member nearby, have them call out notes from the first 7 letters of the alphabet. They can basically have music knowledge or none at all. But if they restrict their note choices or the letter choices to A through G, and you just find those on the neck, maybe pick a string, some sort of limitation or position, and you just find the string and the fret. Also, get your own blank guitar neck and start writing down the notes. Writing things down and saying things out loud are both really nice concrete ways to reinforce your learning and really memorize it. And do it every day until it's automatic. And then keep reading music to maintain it. Okay, how can we apply some of these? Well, we can play simple melodies, lullabies, children's songs. Those are all real great ways to do this. So let's say we want to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. We could go up here in position 3, and we can play some of those notes. Think of the note names. And it's okay to keep it to just one phrase like that. Go up to a new position and really think about the notes, maybe say them out loud again. Okay, should be able to play that at minimum in 7 different locations. Also take chords that you know well, let's say C major 7, and find where the root notes are that are in reach of your fingers, just like the octave shapes from earlier. So C and C. Let's say we're here. We also have this at least nearby. So you can get a little idea of the distance where we find these root notes. Go up to another familiar chord. And again, find those octave shapes. Play the chord again. So in that example, we're playing C major 7. It's very important for the ear to stay anchored in harmony. So anytime you can play chords and associate those with the notes is going to be very helpful. Improvise with specific notes, a certain limitation of tones. So let's say a C major triad. Make sure you have a little bit of perspective shift than how you might normally play this. Like I said, guitarists tend to be pretty strong with shapes. So instead of thinking their relationship to each other, think about the note name, C, E, G, and improvise with that within that limitation. You can pick any 3 notes, 2 notes, 1 note, or up to 7. If you feel really confident in 7, you can even go beyond that. Again, get a friend or a family member to quiz you. Maybe they'll give you 3 notes, 4 notes this time. And remember, they don't have to know anything about music theory or anything. Can just give you one of the 7 letters from the alphabet, the first 7 letters. And if you advance beyond C, just tell them to randomly sign sharp or flat after it. All they need is 7 letters, the word flat, and the word sharp. They don't have to know anything about music. That's up to you. I'm confident that all of these exercises and suggestions will really help you to learn the notes on the guitar neck quickly. Remember to be sure to incorporate standard notation reading into this. Think the lines. Every guitarist begins doing fine, fine, and line. Think space, face. Spaces spell out F-A-C-E, face. And start simple. Play your reading excerpts in the 5 fingerings. Depending on the range of the melody, should be able to play it in 7 different locations given those 7 octave shapes. All right, everybody, have a great practice session. Let me know how you do with learning the notes on the guitar. If you're already there, if you're working on it, or just getting started. Have a great practice session. See you all in the next one.